Hello, so my name is Gerd. I'm a lead game designer with Keen Software House, and I've been working for the company for about 10 months. So as a lead game designer, I'm kind of oiling all the cogs in the machine, meaning that I focus on the intro work between the departments. So when we have milestone plannings in our project, I coordinate those with my team. I check what kinds of tasks we do in each milestone. Apart from that, I also proofread designs from my fellow designers, checking that when we give the documents to other teams, like our developers or artists, that basically they are in a state to be worked with. And finally, I sometimes do designs, but that just happens very rarely these days. Judging by my past experience, the difference in game design or game design challenges in Space Engineers is the huge variety of applications that you can do with the systems. So a lot of systems in Space Engineers are very emergent, or they push emergent gameplay, meaning that the same system that we design can be used in many different ways. Just hinting at, I don't know, functional blocks used as armor or gravity engines that people build. So the big difference or the big challenge that we face is to think of edge cases, to think of emergent gameplay that can basically be created out of the mechanics that we put into the game, and that they do not interact in bad ways with each other. So this complexity and having fun gameplay emerging out of it, and not tedious and annoying tasks that you have to do, I would say walking this fine line is one of the specific differences to other games. The main challenge that we are facing, similar to every big project, is communication. We have a multinational team, like from 17 members that we currently have directly in our team. We have 7 different nationalities. So even if we talk directly in chat every day, we have one-on-one meetings, but at the same time we have different backgrounds, and sometimes that shows. So why is communication such a challenge in a game design, or rather in a game project? So if you think about a feature and how a feature comes from a rough idea from our vision keeper all the way along until implementation, there are many stations and many people involved. So as I said, it first starts as a rough idea somewhere in our vision department. Someone thinks of it. Then this rough idea will come to us as game designers. We have to take this idea from the abstract level to something specific, from an idea to a concept that can be implemented, or that some other department like the artist or the developers can work with. So, and then that's already the next station. So we transformed an abstract idea into a specific feature. This feature then is taken by an artist, which an artist can also differ. Like we have concept artists, we have 3D artists, we have animators, and all of these need information. They need to have enough information to go into the same direction as the vision keeper. Then it goes to implementation. So all the different parts have been prepared. Now it needs to be assembled into the game. Again, we need communication. What is the actual goal? How should it feel in the end? And how can we transport this feeling after so many people worked with it? Having that part, then as the last part, having QA there. So they basically need us to tell them how the feature should work, how this feeling should be, so they can verify that. And it's like this little game where people whisper in each other's ears like a word, and it changes every time it is passed on. And that's exactly what happens in most projects. If you've ever worked in a bigger project, you may know, but that's one of the biggest challenges, actually realizing the idea, or having the idea go through this whole process and being what was expected in the start in the end when it's implemented. We've been doing a good job so far and hope to make that even better. As mentioned before, our team is highly international. and we are working mostly remote. So that means some of the people that I work with for several months now I have never seen in person, just through a screen. So right now, one of the biggest challenges is to get a connection to our to the other designers of the team, and also have the team itself connect on a somewhat emotional level, so people can actually understand each other without having to go through pre-constructed steps of communication every time. This is, in times of home office, one of the things that you have to actively tackle. There is no relaxed talk while having a coffee, or like this water dispenser talk or whatever, but you have to actively include this in your day-to-day meetings. You have to actively include talking about private happenings or asking people. You also have to, we make time to play games together, to get to know the other person that I work with. On another level, if this coordination then exists, you also need to spend time to uphold it, to basically keep this connection and not just become work connected. A potential new colleague needs to know his traits and his tools. So for a game designer, they need to know how to use documentation software, presentation software to bring an idea that has been formulated or a concept to another team and to present it in a way that they can understand it in the easiest possible way, to remove friction or to remove the effort of reading through hundreds of pages of documents. But the even more important point is soft skills and communication. With a highly international team and a super dynamic work structure, it is always important that you are able to fit into the process. So even if you are an absolute overperformer, but nobody wants to work with you, that's difficult. If you manage to adapt your skills and to fit them into the whole process, then that would be absolutely perfect. So greeting your colleagues, being interested about who they are, what they do, even as mentioned before, bringing something of yourself positively into this whole process would be absolutely perfect. The little topping, as you would say, topping on the cake, is if the potential colleagues shared our common vision of enabling our players to live out their need to create. So supporting the players, like creating some unique products for players, for people, for everyone there to enjoy and to grow on their own as well. So working for Keen has been, I would say, wild for me. It's the first company where I highly identify myself with the products, where I played the product several hundred hours before I ever joined the company itself. So the most interesting part for me is the diversity and also the strive to create something unique. The idea, like even on the forefront of design, thinking about concepts that has not been or have not been realized in the gaming industry as of today, in concepting directions or even in technical solutions, and trying to incorporate this in a project with highly skilled and highly motivated other team members. On the same level, even the leadership of Keen is very focused and is very caring about the employees. Having exceptional situations or issues for people popping up, the Keen itself jumps in even above what would be expected of a company to try and support them and to try and support the people, which is, this doesn't even just come from the company leadership, but from the rest of the team themselves. So instead of just being a company, it rather feels like being in a bigger extended family. And finally, the ability, feeling the support myself, and then the ability to create an environment where people really would like to work. I hope I was able to give you a little insight in what we do here at Keen and how we work together. And maybe someday in the future we can even welcome you into our extended Keen family.